is the way that you can make with your family 30 meals in one day. So this is essentially making a month's worth of meals in advance, so as to save you lots of time. And of course, doing this will also save you some money. So I've got a 10-step plan I'm going to take you through, really easy. And at the end of the video, I'm going to also share with you 2 extras or 2 bonuses. One is some tips and tricks, and the second one is some learning, so that you can learn from what I did and take away those tips and tricks and make it even easier for you. So step 1 is work out how many meals you want to cook. So we cooked 30 meals because I essentially wanted to have a month's worth of meals in the freezer ready to go. We've got a really busy month ahead. However, you could try cooking double one night and then just put that extra meal in the freezer. You could even try doing a week's worth of meals, or you might even just decide to do 2 meals and make double of those. Whatever you want to do, have a go at that and start maybe smaller rather than going straight to 30 meals in one day. Once you've worked out how many meals you want to do, go and find your recipes. So you might want to use your family favorites. You might want to go online and have a look and see what recipes you've used in the past. I wouldn't suggest maybe starting with anything too gourmet, and I also probably wouldn't do recipes that you've never done before, just in case your family doesn't like them or they don't work out. So maybe just some ones that you know will work for your first time. Then put together your ingredient list. So I'll just show you what I've done. This is I start off with a notepad and pen. And when we worked out what the recipes were, we decided as a family, everyone gave input into our recipes. So you can see what the favourites were if you go back and have a look at what we put together. So here is what each of the recipes, and for the recipes, I just put down the main ingredients, things such as flour, oil, salt and pepper. I knew I had in the cupboard anyway, so I didn't put those down. So I just put down each of the main ingredients for the recipes that's there. And then what I went and did was had a quick check in the pantry and the fridge just to see if I already had some items there, because if they were in the pantry and the fridge, I wanted to use them up first so that we can keep that rotation of fresh food going. And also I didn't want to have more things in the pantry than I needed. So that's what I did. Then what you can do is then combine, so those are the separate little ingredients. Separate little ingredient list for each recipe, and this is my whole shopping list. So this is almost my master shopping list that I put together. So I just went back through each of those. I wrote down the ingredients. I started tallying or adding the weights or quantities that I need for each ingredient. And so then once I had gone through all the recipes, I had a total amount. And this is what I took shopping with me. So that's your combined shopping list. That leads us nicely into going shopping. So I also would suggest that you only take the shopping list that you need for those items, rather than going, oh, let's add all of the cleaning items this week, or let's add all of the, what can I say, the breakfast things. I decided I only wanted to buy the dinner items because I wanted to make it super simple. I wanted to be in and out of the shops. I put my headphones on and I was in and I was out as soon as I could. When I got home, we just spread all the food out, so you can do that too, and just make sure you've got everything all there, because I just wanted to get it all done at once. And I would suggest as well, this is what we did, start on the long recipes. So that's step 7, start on the long recipes first, get them cooking, so that if they're cooking longer, you can, in between, you're efficient with your time and you can start on those other shorter recipes or prepping other items. And speaking of prepping too, I think we had, I don't know, I think we ended up with over 20 or 23 onions, and maybe the same 20 cloves of garlic with all of our recipes. So what we did is we cut them up and chopped them up or crushed them all in bulk, and then just put them in a bowl. And in fact, I cooked off the onions so they're ready for each of the recipes, and the garlic was already crushed, ready to go. So if you do it in bulk, it certainly saves time, rather than going, oh, here's an onion for this recipe, here's some garlic for that one, etc. So do all your generic ingredients in bulk. And to make yourself feel good, tick off the meals once you've done them. So we had it here. This was our list, and you can see that they've been ticked off as we did them. So that made us feel like we were achieving things, and then we just went and put those meals straight in the freezer or straight in the fridge just to keep them fresh. And step number 10 is an easy one. It's be happy. Once you know that you have cooked all those meals and they're in the fridge and the freezer, and you've got a month's worth, or whether it's a week's worth, or even it's a couple of nights worth of meals put away, it's a really good feeling. So enjoy that happiness. Now I'll quickly move on to some tips, and I've got those written up there just to remind me. So first tip is clean out, I'll just pop that down. Clean out your fridge and freezer. So to make sure that you had enough room, and we have a chest freezer, which we use a lot for food. So we made sure that was cleaned out. There was anything in there, we tried to use that beforehand, and we had lots of room to be able to pack all of our food back in. And also, speaking of packing in, I went for rectangular size containers, because I find that rectangular fits better in a freezer or in your fridge rather than round ones. It just is more efficient with space. So get your containers sorted. I tried to use containers we already had, and then I used some foil ones as well. Also reuse your utensils. So things like, I had all my tomato paste or my tomato utensils, and then we had our chopping knives for the vegetables and all those kinds of things. So we reuse utensils and cooking items, things that we needed, like boards and stuff, which makes me leading on to, we had a raw meat section, and we had like our vegetable section as well. So when we were cutting up raw meats, that all stayed over one side of the kitchen with those knives and those boards, and the vegetables stayed over the other side. We also kept our basic ingredients in one section. So we had like our oils, our salt and pepper, some of our herbs, those kinds of things were all just in one section, rather than going, oh, where's the salt or where's the sugar? And that just made life a bit easier. And another tip, use frozen vegetables where it's appropriate for that recipe. So a lot of our recipes, we really wanted the fresh vegetables, but where we could, we threw in and we used the frozen vegetables, much easier. Double check. So when we were going along and we were making sure we had all those bags of recipes that are going to go straight into the freezer, we just went through and did a double check and go, oh, have we put the garlic in? Have we put the Worcestershire sauce? Have we put the onions? Have we put the carrots, etc.? So we just made sure, we did a bit of a double check between us to make sure we had all the ingredients in. And just to make life a little bit easier at the end, wash the dishes as much as you can as you go, because it just makes you feel better to not have as many. We had a lot. I'm sure you just do as part of this, but we washed them a little bit as we went as well. It made us feel a little bit better. And make sure you have some good snacks along the way, because you are busy. We didn't stop. We kept on going, just made sure that we could get as much done in as little amount of time as possible. So have some good snacks there to keep the momentum. You might want to have music as well to keep things exciting and fun. And a few learnings as well. So one of the, I ended up with a bit more plastic, actually a lot more plastic than I really wanted. So a learning for me is I am going to go to the butcher next time and get our meat in bulk. And that will mean that we've got it all there ready to go, and we don't have to worry about all those containers. Also, on the morning, we made our vegetable stock that we normally make in the Thermomix, and I would try and do that a couple of days or a day before, because that just kind of held us up for a little bit longer than we liked. And spread out and clear off your kitchen space as much as possible. You want to have as much room to spread out, have the different things all set out and sectioned off. So just clear off your space as much as possible. And I think that, I'll make sure I've written there lots of containers too. I'm just looking at my notes to remind me. So that is essentially how we did, or how we made 30 meals in one day over the weekend. And I have to say, already we've had 5 meals this week, I think it is, and it's worked out fantastically. We've been really pleased. They've been really good meals. I have to say, as a family, it's been fantastic for us to be able to come home at night and not worry about cooking. With some of those meals, you'll notice that we'll probably still need to add some veggies and salad and rice, all those, or pasta. So we will do that along the way, but that's pretty easy, and we've written down, you know, what we need to do. So go and try some bulk cooking. Tell me how you go, and I'm hoping that this is helpful for you. The 10 easy steps, our tips and tricks and our learnings, and there you are. You can head off and try it yourself.